Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the X and Y Soul Link Randomized Nuzlocke custom form. Let's just jump into this.
Let's go.
Welcome. We're not in a versus. Apparently, that's a thing of the past. I want to level up
anymore?
my Shadow because I want to get Blaziken. We're gonna level him up.
Okay.
Owen,
okay. Very nice.
We have not recorded in quite a while, so there are going to be a lot of surprises when I see your team show up on the screen. For those people who are watching the series, Owen and I haven't recorded in like 3 weeks. We recorded so far ahead of time that we literally had enough content to just not record for weeks. So, as I get
this has been a long time. We should probably actually at some point just do a recap so we know who's partnered with who, because I really haven't got a clue. It's like, if you'd have asked me, British, before we start recording, oh, what's your team? I wouldn't have been able to tell you.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I have a Kyogre with adaptability. That's definitely a thing that is here.
Yes, yes.
My team is looking pretty good, and don't forget, if I do happen to lose that Kyogre in battle or whatever happens, I have a backup. So let's freaking go, dude. Let's freaking go. I got a Moxie Kyogre in the background. But anyway, enough about my team.
So much.
Except for the fact that it's amazing. I'll do a quick team recap. Owen does want to see it. So Combuskin, we've got sixes. Again, I can't actually think of it as a Meganium anymore. It's just sixes to me now. Like, that's just a thing.
Sixes, yeah.
We got little Chespin Quilladin thingy that will evolve soon. I'm gonna have some power with these starters. Sixes, not the Meganium, but the Luxray. And then I've got Swadloon that I'm just kind of keeping in the back. So you get to keep your whatever is this? Is it paired
my
with
Xerneas? Paired with my Xerneas, the Dragon Grass type. So I've got to avoid those ice type attacks, but Dragon Grass, I love that typing, even though it does open me up to quite a few weaknesses. We have, what's this thing called? Sucker Punch the Galvantula, so it managed to evolve. It's also got Guts, the Guts ability, so might see some use. We've got, so Sixies, which is my Bayleaf. So it's not Meganium yet. We have who have I got here? Sevens, which is my Primeape. We've then got Knuckles, which is my Quilava, and then we've got Shadow, which is my Dedenne. Which I'm not a huge fan of Dedenne, but Poison Fairy typing is a fantastic pair. Type combination. Which I absolutely love. Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to just leveling up over the next couple of episodes that we're recording tonight, which should hopefully give us a full team of 6 fully evolved Mons, which is
leave it to me to lose somebody today. Oh, Psybeam.
Please
That's
don't.
A lot of damage. Yep.
Please don't.
Okay.
Please don't.
Please. Okay.
This guy.
Let's go ahead and switch because this is just not working. So let's go to Sucker Punch. You can suck my punch.
Shadow isn't looking too good.
Well, listen, Owen, he's not a fully evolved Pokemon yet, so I don't expect him to be that good. I am...
One day.
Listen, when he's fully evolved, he's going to be fantastic. I'm excited about it. So, all right, so let's do this. We'll just Shockwave. So, Owen, we showed our teams.
Yes.
I would like to talk about... Yes. So, why don't we take it one by one? I'll give you a topic that I want to talk about, and then you can bring a topic you want to bring to the table. So, the first thing I want to mention is the Last Airbender. Did you watch the Last Airbender TV show?
So I did.
Okay.
We did it a long time ago. I'm pretty sure you told me to watch that, and I told you to watch maybe One Punch Man.
Yes, and I never did. I never did that.
Never watched One Punch. One Punch.
I did watch like 2 episodes, but I just
Okay.
So the reason I ask is
not for you.
Yeah, I might give it a go one day again, but we'll see. So the reason I bring it up is that they are apparently like removing all like character development from all of the characters for the live action show. So I don't know if you know, Netflix is coming out with a live action show of The Last Airbender. I was really pumped for it. I'm excited. I love that show. I've watched it a couple different times. Monica and I have binge watched it. It's a great show, but they apparently felt that Sokka was so sexist in episode, really season 1 in general, that they didn't want
Okay.
to promote that, so they've removed that from his character in the show. What's ridiculous about that is if you take away his like personality in episode 1, I'm pretty sure Katara never gets mad at Sokka, and Sokka making sexist comments leads to Katara accidentally unlocking Aang from the ice. So if you remove his character arc, you're literally removing how they find Aang, and also just so many major key pieces. So every tweet, almost every day, there's a new tweet, and it's like the Last Airbender live-action movie is removing blank. And it's every day it's something else about their characters, whether it's like they don't want Aang to be like goofy. They want him to just be serious, and it's like
he's a kid.
He's a kid, yeah. Like, what are we talking about here?
But that's the whole point of his. Like, that's one of the parts of his.
We haven't seen
character.
this before.
Whoa, no, we have not.
Out of all 75 episodes of this 2-attempt series, we've not seen that. That's cool. Something new.
We have not. Yeah, cool new stuff. Yeah, I like. That's part of Aang's journey, is like he has this weight of what he has to do and who he is. Not only is he the Avatar, he's the last Airbender.
Yep.
And like, it's okay to have those childish moments, because when he does then have to go, no, okay, right, now it's time to actually step up, he, like, it makes it more impactful.
Yep.
So I'm really confused as to why they are making these decisions. Now, I'm wondering if they, part of me wonders is the reason they're having to make these changes because Avatar: The Last Bender, the original show, it had some filler in it, which is fine because cartoons, animes, they have filler episodes. They have to have filler episodes because there isn't. If you try stretch the story too far, then it loses something. So it is good to have those filler episodes. The next Netflix shows typically aren't able to do 20-odd episodes. Typically, they do the shorter runs of about 10 episodes.
Yep.
So if they need to remove some of that filler, I'm okay with that, because you can, by definition, filler is stuff that it doesn't contribute to the character growth, it doesn't contribute to the overarching story. You can remove it. It is just a nice little adventure to have. So I'm okay with them removing that. But changing who the characters are, that is a brave decision on their part.
Yep.
And it's going to be interesting to see if they are doing it for the reason of, modern sensitivities, maybe. But the flip side is, are they doing it because they're confident in the show as a whole and go, actually, we can tweak these things and maybe we can have it more where these children actually act more like teenagers. So you can remove some of that childishness from them, which I don't agree with, but I could probably understand why they've decided to do that.
So I heard from, or at least, I got Flash. That's a wonderful TM that I'm really excited to use now.
He just flashed you.
Just flashed me.
Dirty man.
I wasn't even ready.
Disgusting.
So what I have heard is that apparently in the show, what they're looking to go, I don't know why, it's audio again keeps dropping. So I don't know. Apparently, one of the things that they've said online is the reason why they're looking at changing Aang specifically. I'm not sure about the Sokka situation. I think they're just worried about the sexism or the sexist comments he makes. But sexist comments from a cartoon that is just a TV show, that doesn't make the actor sexist or us as viewers sexist. For him to make comments, it's silly to be so concerned about that, because he grows into such a great character later on, and there are some amazing moments with him. But apparently for Aang, they want him to be serious and to focus on becoming the Avatar. So like in late season 3, I think it is, or the 3rd book, he basically starts to really grow up, and he's like, all right, I need to focus on becoming, like, being the savior that everyone needs me to be. They're basically, from what I've seen online with different tweets and articles and stuff, is that they're saying they don't want to wait that long. To your point about the whole, like, Netflix isn't going to put out 3 seasons, 30 episodes apiece, right? They're going to maybe do 10 to 15 episodes. So I think what they're doing is they're saying, look, we know it's not going to be a super long series. Let's just get to the good stuff soon. Which, I get, but, like, you're removing such big parts of the story. I don't know, man.
Which makes me think, are we only getting 2 seasons, maybe?
Maybe.
Maybe they're not that confident, and it's like, no, we'll give you 2 seasons. Because Netflix typically, most shows last a season, maybe 2. And the reason they do that, I think, is... Netflix is a bit of a victim of their own success in some ways, because I think what they've done is they've gotten to the point where it's like, nah, that hasn't hit the numbers we want, let's cancel it. But because they keep doing that, it means that whenever a new show comes out, people go, well, I'm not going to watch it until second season's announced. So it doesn't get the viewers. So then they don't renew it after the first season. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy at this point. And like for me, I think that they need to start going to shows going, okay, we will give you 2 seasons instead of 1. If we see the pilot, we're happy with it, we'll give you 2 seasons.
Yep.
And then that gives people enough time to go, season 1 comes out, oh, it's been renewed for season 2. Oh, that's great. Okay, I'm going to start watching it. Rather than what they do of season 1 comes out and let's look at the numbers, let's look at the figures. And the annoying thing is that, because I have looked into this a little bit, part of it is because obviously the longer a series goes on for, it gets to the point where the actors can demand more money. So of course, what they have to do is go, okay, let's figure out how we can save money other ways. So typically, that is why you get less episodes, or the quality of the show might go down a little bit. So I am a little bit worried about this Avatar, because the Avatar: The Last Airbender, because when it was first announced, I must admit I was like, oh, okay. Oh, Jesus Christ! This mod is just absolutely.
Are you okay over there? You've been on that for a while. Yeah.
I know it's typing now. It's water ice.
Oh, that's actually really good. That's wow. Okay. I mean, I guess there's some drawbacks to that, but ice is typically bulky. Defensive wise.
Fine.
Ooh, that's smart. Dude, Intimidate, I know you're not a big fan of Dedenne, and I'm really not either, but Intimidate on any Pokemon instantly makes it so good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely fun. And it's got Nuzzle as well, so I can bring it in, Intimidate, Nuzzle, just shut down the opposition. And you know what? It's actually got Parabolic Charge as well, which is...
That's really nice.
So it's weird because it hasn't got any moves that are Poison or Fairy outside of Charm. It's really weird moveset for this Pokemon.
Well, because it was originally Electric. That's why. It's electric.
Yeah.
Is it electric fairy normally?
Strange.
Or is it...
Yes.
I think it is, right? Because that's a cool typing like that.
Yeah.
So I'm a kind of the opinion at this point that if they're going to make this many changes to Avatar: The Last Airbender, I would just rather not have the show. Like, it just, to me, like... I mean, obviously, they're not going to do that. They're going to make money. It's going to go... Okay, that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's not stab. He's not a physical attacker. But I would almost rather just not get the show at this point, because I just feel like it's going to be so butchered.
Really? Okay.
And to me, I feel like you need... Ooh, this is a tough one to choose. Shadow Punch never misses. But I really like the rest of my moves. I kind of like having Shadow Sneak and Mach Punch.
He's thinking about it. Yeah.
But I
go for the Flame Charge.
It's only a 20 power difference. Now I'm gonna say no to Shadow Punch. But I would rather just leave it alone at this point, because I think that this is the kind of show that needs 20-25 episodes. Build up the characters. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe it doesn't, because we already know the history, or most of the older fans know the history, so maybe we don't. But I don't know. Live action's always so, like, I don't know. Anytime I hear of a good show that I'm really excited about from, like, anime or cartoon... You lose someone?
It's alright. It's just roaring between all my mons at this point.
I was like, uh-oh. I saw a mon got switched out, and I was like, oh, no. But I think I was just going to say with live action, like, I'm just at the point where I'm like, I just don't get excited anymore for any of these live action shows. They're just... They seem to always be quite a bit disappointing, to be honest, from what outside of the One Piece, which I heard was really good.
Yeah, and I think part of this actually is one of the reasons why the writer's strike was so important.
Yeah.
Because I think for the longest time, people were getting underpaid, and if you're getting underpaid, your heart's not in it, is it? And also the risk of, we can just oh, this writer who's really good wants, I don't know, I'm pulling figures out of my head like, you know, $50 an hour. I don't know what it is. But there's a writer over here who says they can do it for $20 an hour. As a studio, you go, well, you know what? That's fine. We'll go for the cheaper one. Not realizing that that person that you've hired might not care about the property. They might not care about the show. They just care about, well, I just want to get paid so I can feed my family and put a roof over my head. And I think a lot of shows have fallen victim to that of maybe writers not caring, or the fact that, oh, there's all this source material, but I know better than the fans. I'm not going to rely on this source material. Why would I listen to what the fans want? This is what I want to make of it. And I think a lot of properties, a lot of big name properties have started to fall afoul of that. I mean, you look at Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, what happened with that was just an absolute mess.
Horrible.
And I know it's recovered. Yeah. It's recovered slightly with The Mandalorian, but then it kind of went downhill again with Boba Fett and Obi-Wan. And it's just infuriating that there are so many potentially great shows and movies out there, and for whatever reason, the wrong people are in charge of them.
Yep.
Or in charge of writing them.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, to be honest. Like, I think I will give it a shot at the end of the day. I think I'll try it. And obviously I'm interested because they've got some really great actors and actresses in those roles. So I think it could end up being
fantastic. It looks
amazing. They've done a really good job with the bending.
Seen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It looks like it's got a lot of potential, but there have been so many anime live action shows on Netflix that I hear it gets released. I look at the reviews absolutely pan it, then it doesn't get past the first season. So you just go, well, why would I invest time in it then?
Yep.
You know, what was it? Cowboy Bebop, which I know a little bit about. I've never watched an episode, but it's because it's one of those shows that's quite old and it's already all out there. I don't have a lot of time to invest in watching stuff, so I've always gone, I'm not going to watch it.
Sure.
And then I saw there was like a 10-episode series on Netflix. I was like, oh, okay, that's great. And I watched the trailer. I was like, this actually looks right up my alley. It's got that like weird sci-fi cowboy twist, space opera kind of thing. I was like, okay, this actually looks really good.
Cool.
And then when I looked into it and I saw the reviews absolutely panned it. Hadn't got a second season, which instantly made me go, why would I invest my time in something knowing that it's getting no resolution whatsoever? And it's really annoying that, it's not just Netflix. Other shows are a victim of this. That they just don't get the love. Like, Wheel of Time is another one on Amazon.
Never heard of that. That sounds cool.
It's a fantasy show. It's a really well-known fantasy series in the genre. And I knew of the Wheel of Time because my favorite author wrote the last 3 books of that.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, you know what? I'm gonna watch the first season.
Yeah.
And the first season had a couple of parts where it was actually quite good, and there was parts where it was just absolutely shocking. And then I read some of the reviews and the book comparisons, and everyone was of the mindset of, when everyone says, oh, the book is always better?
Yeah.
Well, the book is definitely better. So I actually went out and read the book. And I really enjoyed it. Whoa!
Wait, I'm going to let
That's
the
so
camera...
cool.
I'm sorry. I'm going to let the camera pan to the... Oh, that looks incredible. It's got to be Ice Ghost, right? Or like Ice Dark, maybe? Or... Oh, that looks... Sorry.
With that color scheme,
you were talking about the books and how books are usually better. Yeah.
So I read the first book, and I was like, okay, the first book is absolutely fantastic. Really enjoyed it. Read the second book. Not as good as the first, but I think it's because there's a lot of wandering around in the book. But that was...
Okay.
And a lot of the tropes in that book, which I see as... Oh, I've seen this in fantasy films and movies and TV shows so many times. It's very... Obvious these are the tropes. But this is the book series that invented those tropes.
Yep.
But, of course, because I'm reading it like 30 years after it came out, I don't see that. Anyway... So I watched the second season, and the second season was head over heels, way better than the first season. but still had those really good parts and then really crap parts. And it's just like, why can't you just get the consistency? Right? And it's little attention, little things, little attention to details where they go, oh, that's all right for a movie, for a TV show. You know, where typically, like, you know, the villain is stood behind, stood across the road, and then loads of people run past and the villain's gone. And, okay, that's a cool shot, but from a realistic expectation, that villain hasn't got any powers.
Yep.
They haven't done that, and it just looks stupid. It's just bad writing. And so many of these shows are just victims of this. Oh, you know what? The viewers, let's not give the viewers any credit. They won't think about this much. And I think it's starting to really grate on people that it is, like, they're just kind of taking the mick with what they think they can get away with.
Yep.
And what they see is, oh, this is mysterious. Oh, this is intriguing. It's just making people go, no, this is just bad. This isn't what I want. Some of the tropes are absolutely just terrible. And they're just like, what was the other one? Shadow and Bone is another one on Netflix.
Oh, wow.
Another fantasy one. Again, some really high highs. Some of the characters are absolutely phenomenal in it. Phenomenal. And then some of the parts of the show are absolutely terrible because they just rely on all these tropes that we have seen so many times. And what I want to see is some, you know, from this writer strike and writers getting paid more, is hopefully it means that some writers come out and deliver things that haven't been seen before, fresh twists on things that have happened before, so it just makes TV and movies exciting again. Like,
yeah,
it's like we're getting this this Rey film, aren't we? You know, from Star Wars.
Yeah.
Which I want to be excited about. I really want to be excited because I maintain Rey was a good character.
Yeah.
Just badly written. And a great actress, badly written. And it's what annoys me is the fact that, oh yeah, we're going to follow Rey doing a Jedi school. It's like, okay, I'm on board with that, but the fans wanted Luke doing that.
Yep.
Like, why aren't you listening to the fans? I just don't get, like, why.
That makes me so mad, and I'm so glad you brought this up. That makes me so mad because you're oh my god, how many drop-down cave encounters am I going to get?
There's loads at the end. Absolutely loads.
So the whole Luke thing drives me crazy because I don't know if you've seen this. Mark Hamill, I think we might have talked about this before, I can't remember, but Mark Hamill has come out and done so many interviews since the release of the final third of that recent trilogy. He's done so many interviews where he's like, I didn't want to throw the lightsaber. I didn't like the writing. I didn't like this. He's like, I honestly was against 99 point... Oh, that's cool. Fully evolved T-Tar.
Woo!
Man, that's cool. But he said so many times, he's like, I was not on board with... I think the director's name was Ryan. Ryan's writing. And he has stated, like, he did not agree. Dude, if Mark Hamill tells you that the script is bad and that this is not a good Star Wars writing, or sorry, the way the script was written for a Star Wars movie, you probably listen to him just a little bit. That's what drives me crazy is if he was pushing back, and he says in the interviews, he's like, well, I just gave up pushing back. They clearly had a direction and they didn't want to listen to me. What?
But the thing is, they didn't have a direction.
No, they
and we
didn't.
know that because before they announced Episode 7's coming, before they even had a script, like that's crazy.
Yep.
And then they had a rough idea of where they wanted Episode 7, 8, and 9 to go. But then they hired 3 different directors, all of which have different.
Well, wasn't it 2?
views.
Because the first of the 3 was.
Sorry, it was meant to be 3.
It was meant to be 3, but they switched. It was the first was a direct. One director did first and third.
J.J. Abrams.
Abrams, thank you.
Yes.
And then the second was.
And then Ryan Johnson did Episode 8. And Ryan Johnson got a lot of flack. Now, I have watched some of Ryan Johnson's other films, and they are bloody good. Like Knives Out, I
love that movie.
Love that on Netflix.
Yep, I love that.
He did that. So the guy that did Episode 8 did Knives Out. And you know what? Because I put off watching Knives Out for so long because I was so annoyed by the direction of
I can see that.
And then I finally watched Knives Out. I was like, bloody hell, this is great. So I think that Ryan Johnson, I think he should have been given a trilogy, maybe not of the main characters, but a trilogy. of Star Wars, and I think I would have enjoyed that. But I think that the problem they've had, one of the problems they've had, is they just don't know what to do with Star Wars.
No, they don't.
They've got this, and they're like, what do we do with it? And they just like episode 7, 8, and 9 just floundered, and they couldn't. You had one director trying to overturn the previous director. Then they had Solo that came out, which no one asked for, but then did really badly. I think partly because of a backlash of episode 8, but also the fact that people were just sick of prequels at this point. And then, of course, we got. I'm probably going to buy that one. And then, of course, we got The Mandalorian, which... before The Mandalorian, I was ready to give up on Star Wars. And then I remember I booked the day off. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to watch The Mandalorian because I just need to get it out of the way with. And I binged it because I was like, oh my God, this is Star Wars. This feels like Star Wars. It looks like Star Wars. It was absolutely amazing. And then, of course, Mandalorian Season 2, still absolutely fantastic. Then Book of Boba Fett, which started really strong. Yeah, but Book of Boba Fett started really strong, and then just kind of went off the Book of Boba Fett should have just been him with the Sand People. I think that was fantastic. Those flashbacks were fantastic. That's right. And then they were like, oh, now we need to bring the Mandalorian back into Book of Boba Fett. Which made Book of Boba Fett really... it was basically Mandalorian Season 3 at that point. Because he took over the show, and I was just kind of like, why are we doing this? This is the weird thing, though, because if let's say... Because, again, Book of Boba Fett, I held off and then binged it. And the reason I binged it is because people were like, oh, it's got the Mandalorian. I was like, okay, right, I can see those two working together like they did in Season 2. Really good. And then... the whole decision about Grogu going with Luke was overturned, not in The Mandalorian, but in the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
And, they should have just called it something else, like The Mandalorians.
You're right.
Or something like that. Instead of what they did, so I was like, okay, fine. Then Mandalorian Season 3 was probably the weakest. I don't think it was bad. It was just
the weakest, for sure. Yeah, I think that's a consensus agreement between all Mandalorian fans, yeah.
Yeah. And then we got Ahsoka, which... I really enjoyed for what it was. I think that the dialogue could have been better in some aspects, but other than that, I think Ahsoka was really strong.
Clone Wars flashbacks, freaking phenomenal. Yeah, so that to me made up for a lot of some of the flaws. But you're right. Yeah, it definitely could have been better. But I still liked it for what it was. I 100% agree with you on that. Yeah.
And funnily enough, not long after that, I watched a YouTube video that came up on recommended going, Disney's ruined lightsabers. And I was like,
uh-oh.
Okay, what's this all about? And you know what? Now, after watching that, lightsabers are so nerfed in the Disney era. Because I don't know if you noticed, because a lot of the shows recently, they don't actually cut through people. They kind of hit and bounce off.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because a lot of the lightsabers now, that light is actually part of the lightsaber now. Mm-hmm. It's not done digitally. It is there. So of course, you hit someone, it'll just bounce off because it's a physical object bouncing off someone else. So Obi-Wan and Ahsoka, the amount of times they were trying to cut through stormtroopers, and it just bounces off. And once you see it, you start to notice it a lot, which is such a shame. Such a shame.
Well, that's been the biggest feedback or the biggest critique with Star Wars or Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi. Oh man, I'm blanking on the other name, but the Cal Kestis
Survivor.
Survivor. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's been the biggest critiques with those two games. Is that a lot of I'm pretty sure it was. I haven't played the game in so long. It's been a while, but I'm pretty sure the critique was people noticed that in some of the battles they were they weren't slicing them in half. They were just cutting them, and it's I'm expecting a lightsaber to slice an entire leg off, cut him in half.
Yeah.
Okay, so at this point, we've got encounters, obviously. Do we want to save that for surfing? Because remember we talked about this before, how we, I don't know if we could get encounters easily, or...
Well, we can get one now, so we can go right of the city.
True, we could.
Past the Pokemon Center and into the patch of grass, and we can get it.
Okay.
The only thing I've just
Oh,
realized...
yeah, we can. Oh, I have honeys, by the way, because I don't know if you remember. So I got a Master Ball at one shop with, like, ability capsules, and I've also got, like, 45 honeys because one of the shops obviously had a bunch of them. So, yeah, dude, I'm ready to go get encounters. Let's freaking do this.
Tell you what, you go first and use your honey, because I'm going to try and make it to the top right where there is a honey hidden item.
Oh, smart.
But I don't have any repels. I have nothing to reduce encounter rate, so I just have to be lucky.
So before I jump in the grass, I need something that I can status with, and I'm pretty sure I don't have a single status move, which is really unfortunate. Yeah, I have nothing that can status.
Okay.
I might just go... I'm not going to take too long on this. I just want to look at all my moves. I can't go with... I'll just go with Shadow. It's fine.
Okay.
Oh, but if it's going to be a Horde, I need something fully evolved strong to, like, knock out a bunch of Pokemon first. Let me put my Kyogre up front, and let's do this.
That's probably a wise choice. Okay, let's head in.
Do I have to step in first, right? And then I can use...
Step in. And then just, you know, spread your honey all over the place.
I will slather my honey all over everything that comes near it, yeah. I've got 40
How do you think
honeys.
the honey works? Do you reckon you just unscrew it, or do you have to, like, smother it on yourself?
I imagine it's a bit of both. Let's see what we get here. Okay, I can get my Mighty Ina back. That's so funny. I mean, I don't know that I'd probably just go Staryu, honestly. Steel Psychic,
not
right?
Terrible. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with that then.
Great typing combination.
Is it primary Psychic or primary Steel? Because that determines your encounter.
Not tell you. It does. I couldn't tell you. So I'm gonna use my honey now.
Okay.
And fingers crossed.
Hope it's good.
What am I a legendary? I want another legendary.
Yeah.
Give me a legendary. Lantern.
That's slacking.
Is that slacking?
Oh, it's not custom
I can't. Oh,
yeah.
It's a custom form in Oras.
Oh, is
I know
it?
that much.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
So, actually, it's funny you brought up Oras. I was actually thinking, what if, because I don't know, based on what I've seen on Twitter, I don't think that BDSP version is going to be ready. Do we do an Oras 3-way cage lock with Soul instead, if the thing is not, if that ROM hack isn't ready?
Not ready.
Because I don't want to wait until, like, if it's not ready till November, I don't want to wait until then to do some type of cage lock or something with the three of us. I don't know. So, just something to think about. I love Oras. I will never stop screaming it from the mountaintops. I love these Gen 6 games.
So good.
I think they're it's
so good.
Everything about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Or we could do Gen 7. I'd be happy to do. I'd be happy to do. Because, again, the two Pokemon games that I have played the least and actually currently want to play the most are Black and White 2 and Sun and Moon or Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I really want to play those ones again. So, I mean, the problem with Black and White 2... Although, actually, no, you can play Black and White 2 but still do the battles in Oras because you just... Oras has all the Pokemon, the abilities, the moves. So you just PK Hex them in to that game.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So you could do that. Also, I've just realized I've already got a Lantern, I think, or I've had a Lantern at some point.
Well, yeah. Do you?
But I think it's a good combination with that Pokemon. Yeah. But I think it's a good combination with that Pokemon, so I'm okay to get it again.
Well, is your Lantern alive or dead? Is it? Yeah, I mean, if it's...
I don't know.
Okay. I would say catch it, and then we can always figure it out. Yeah. I know people in the comment section have mentioned that they're honestly fine with however we want to do this. Like, they're just excited to see the Pokemon and the custom form. So if we change the rules, they're not... Like, they've said, like, multiple people have said this. They're like, we're not upset by these rule changes at all. Like, we're just enjoying these custom forms. So,
these guys are too good. Too good, too. They should leave a like down below.
They should. They should leave 2 likes down below. No, don't say that because then it's gonna be a dislike or it's a
just neutral. Yeah. Just cancels out. 3 likes. Leave 3 likes.
3 likes. Press it 3 times. There you go.
3.
By the way,
ding ding ding.
For the first
what
time,
did you call it?
I just called it Metagross because it's Psychic Steel. So I just thought I was being funny. It was my way at comedy. So have you seen? Because I just saw this today. Have you seen that there's now a what's it called? People are doing horizontal streams. or sorry, vertical
What?
stream. Sorry, vertical.
Vertical streams. Vertical
They're
streams.
doing like if you were to hold your phone up like this, it would show on there straight up. So like the cameras, like Vinny's done it and Shady have done it and a bunch of other people. You put your face cam like at the bottom and like gameplay at the top. It's basically a short video, but it's just a live stream. I gotta be honest, like a lot of people are really hype over it. I'm not really sure I'm understanding the excitement.
I don't get it.
Well, especially because if you're on an iPhone, the top of the iPhone blocks part of the top of the screen.
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
so I'm like, I don't love that, but okay, whatever.
So maybe this is a generational thing, because the way I see it is, why would I, like, the only thing that I've got that's vertical is my phone. My laptop, my computer, like, it's horizontal.
Yep.
My TV, horizontal. My phone, I can just turn it. It's horizontal. Like, I don't... You know what? I need to look this up now.
Yeah,
I'm going to go
look at Vinny's stream. Go look at it. Dude, it's to me, it's strange, because the other problem, too, is you have to... If you don't set it up correctly, if you're watching on a computer and you don't make it so there's two streams, you'll be stuck watching the vertical stream. So, like, I tried to watch Vinny stream on my computer during a break today, and I was like, oh, I can't go to the regular-looking stream because it's not... He didn't set it up that way. So,
because he didn't say,
if you're not on your phone and you want to watch on the... Like, Shady did a good job with it. He set up... But it was weird, though. He was streaming 3 places. He streamed YouTube normal, YouTube vertical, and then Twitch normal. And, like... I don't know. There is no appeal to me on that. I watched it. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe it's for the kids. Maybe it's for the youngins out there. But
maybe
I was not impressed. And
really
everyone in the chat was like, "Whoa, this is revolutionary!" And I'm just like, "What? What? Huh? Okay, all right. I'm old. I guess that's."
But how does that work? How does that work on your phone?
It looks like a shorts video, and the chat is there.
Where's the chat function go?
So it's at the bottom.
Okay.
So, but it's super transparent, so you can't really see it. But if you look closely, you can click on chat and you can start typing. But like the chat's at the bottom, so like depending on where you put your camera, it blocks part of the face cam. So if you're at the bottom of the video, it's really weird. I don't know, man.
Interesting.
Shady had a ton of trouble with it because he had to set alerts for the vertical stream and for his regular stream. So he wasn't getting... So people that were watching the vertical stream weren't getting the alert pop-up when they donated. So there's just so many issues with it. I'm like, that just sounds like a headache. I'm out. No, thank you. I'm good.
Agreed. Right, what are we doing now? Because we're coming up to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Shall we...
You want to fish?
Wrap it up there, because... can do if you want. I mean, if you want to fish, we'll fish.
Well, I'm trying to think... Yeah, let's fish. Let's give it a shot. Although,
let's fish.
Fishing last time was kind of a... Fishing was tough last time, right? Because we struggled to get anything, right?
We did, but we've got the new rules now, haven't we? So maybe...
Well, no, I mean, like, we couldn't find any, like, custom forms at all, is what I meant.
Oh, yes. No, we couldn't. Okay.
So let's give it a shot for a little bit. Let's try. And then, yeah, I guess we can end it off here. And, oh, man, I can't even...
Because next episode we have
a lot.
We have the trainer that we have to fight, so we have to battle our rival. Then we have to go into the gym and beat the gym. Then we get the Mega. Then we get the Lapras Pokemon, whatever that is. Then we got more encounters. Like, yeah, we've got a lot coming up.
One thing about the Lapras area or the water, oh, it's a sock. Okay, and I think with Old Rod, you're stuck with like one encounter. Let's just call it an episode here. I don't think we'll just save it for surfing because I'm also, unless you get a custom form here. No, you're not getting custom forms.
No,
let's call it right here. What I will say is this. One thing that's going to make us catch up a little bit quicker is we spent almost a whole episode surfing around in the water. Remember when you go to the east and then you go north?
Oh, we did.
After the Skiddo, we spent like 40 minutes there. We can surf, get the encounter, and just leave that area because outside of like 2 or 3 items, there wasn't much there. So that'll hopefully save us some time catching up to where we were. But guys, thank you so much for your support on another episode of the Pokemon X and Y series. We hope you guys are enjoying. Thank you as always for your support. Hit the like button, subscribe to myself and Hoenn. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. Until next time, we're out. Peace.